This time I'll call the Budget and Purchasing Committee meeting to order. Ask Susan to please call the roll.
Cole. Here. Hannum. Here. Lewis. Here. Mitchell.
Here.
Moon. We have.
Now I'll ask if you would please to make the emergency announcement.
Before we get started, let me read the emergency evacuation procedures. In the event of an emergency evacuation, an alarm will sound. Everyone should exit the building by way of the nearest stairwell in a safe and effective manner. If the nearest stairwell is blocked by smoke, use the other stairwell. Do not use the elevator. Once you have reached the main floor, follow the exit signs to exit the building and quickly proceed away from the building. Please be mindful of others evacuating and of emergency vehicles.
Now I'll ask if there's any public input on items on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to item D, approval of the minutes. The minutes need the approval are in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Have a motion. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion on the minutes? I'll ask for a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Declare the motion passed. Next item on the finance increase, decrease, and transfers, E1A, School Fund 141, $640,000 installation of new roofs. Troy, would you like to come up and talk to us?
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion
okay.
to send it forward to the commission.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Have a second.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Meeting approved awarding of a bid to two different vendors, one for each school. They were the low bid in both cases, so they've approved those with a total estimated amount, or not estimated, total bid amount with a contingency added in there at Mr. Farmer's recommendation. Total $640,000. We'd like to ask your approval to allow us to take that out of fund balance.
Okay, thank you, Troy. I have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Troy, when did the legal notice on the call meeting run the paper? I've checked the legal notices that were published in the Times. I hadn't seen a legal notice of a call meeting of the school board.
They called it on Thursday afternoon, I believe. I'm not sure when it got in the paper.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 4 days. 5 days. Requires 5 days notice in the newspaper general circulation.
For a special called meeting does?
Any meeting.
Okay.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole. Yes. Hannum. Yes. Lewis. Mitchell.
Yes.
Moon.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Okay, item E1B has been pulled on the Cafeteria Fund 143. Moving to item F, we'll discuss possible actions on the resolution for surplus property. We'll go ahead and can I have a motion. We'll get this on the floor. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Teresa, would you like to come up and explain this piece of property?
Yes, thank you. The resolution in your packet, it is to declare a 7.7 acre parcel surplus. This is on the corner of Bart Giffen Road and Huffstetler Road. It's a vacant lot, and the mayor has declared that surplus, and we're requesting that the legislative body also declare that surplus and authorize the sale of that property.
Is there any more discussion, Mike? Yes.
How did we end up with this piece?
That was deeded to us in 1999. And then in 2001, there was a small section of that was conveyed. Less the portion of that was conveyed. So it has been deeded to us.
I saw the deed.
By the Best family, B-E-S-T.
Okay. Any particular reason we're doing it now, if we've had it that long?
I don't know why it's not come up before.
We've had it, we saw it sitting there, and it's, we saw no use for the piece of property. It's right next to the schools. And I don't know whether at some point they had talked about using the property, but the schools, you know, they don't have any need for that piece of property. So we felt it was best to sell it and get it back on the tax roll than for us to hold on to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's actually a beautiful piece of property, really. Any other discussion?
I have one question, Mayor.
Yes.
Once it's sold, to which line item will that money go? Just to general fund balance, or where we're gonna put it?
There is a revenue account for surplus property sales or sales from land, proceeds from land sales, I think is the title of it.
Okay,
But it'll go in the general fund.
thank you.
Commissioner?
Thank you. In the packet, I noticed it said there'll be a minimum bid, but I didn't notice anywhere where it said what that was going to be. Have we set what that minimum bid would be?
We have not set that. We would be speaking with the property assessor's office. That the deed that the assessment that they have in there is fairly current. It's tax year 2015, but they are going to double check that amount, and then I will be in discussion with the mayor as to what that minimum needs to be.
I don't know history on these type of transactions, but it seems like it might be better before it goes to the commission if we knew what that minimum was going to be. I don't know. But
Okay.
I don't know history on these.
Well,
kind of-
always, one of the reasons that it's not been before is because if the commission decided they didn't want to declare it surplus, we didn't want to invest a whole lot of money in having an appraiser come out and spending money and time getting it appraised, and then the commission decide that they didn't want to sell it, so,
Can I ask one more?
yeah.
So if the commission approves to go ahead and sell the surplus, then we would investigate the appraised value, and that's how the minimum would be set?
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Cole? Hannum? Lewis? Mitchell?
Yes.
Moon? The motion passes.
Okay. Item F2 was the 15-16 budget. Randy?
Well, in case y'all hadn't noticed, we've had a little unplanned weather. And it has thrown our schedule in reverse, so we've been scrambling, trying to reschedule our internal budget discussions so that we can bring you a recommendation, or at least gather all the facts and present them to you in a more complete status. So I don't have that here tonight for you, but we'll have it next Monday before we can address that before we start the hearings at 5:30 next week. It's been quite the challenge.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So Randy, you'll have on the agenda for next Monday's meeting this bullet point then?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
I want to go backward just for a minute, Randy. I apologize. They were, on that last item, there were 2 deeds of conveyance on here totaling that total acres. I didn't know if we needed to take those separate. It's 2 different pieces of property. There's a deed on here for 1.5 acres. Is that-
Yes, that was actually removing from,
That's where we conveyed it.
yes.
All right, so,
That brought us to the total of the 7.78.
okay, great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion? Okay, move on to finance report. That's for information only. It's in your packet. I'll now ask if there's any input on items not on the agenda.
Mayor, I have one, please.
Okay.
Just by way of information for the committee, Ashley Spangler has turned in her resignation, and she has entertained an offer from a company in Chattanooga. So her last day with us will be Friday, March 27. So she'll be departing back to Chattanooga. But we wish her well. She's been a great asset while we've had her, and we are seeking applications and have those now, so we'll start the interviewing process this week.
Okay, item H, input on items not on the agenda. Anyone? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made.